All right. How's it going, YouTube? So, as y'all know, the last time I drove this car, broke the shaft. I forgot what I did with it. Maybe it was a 187. Then I turned it up. That's when the shaft snapped. So, what I'm thinking I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna repair this R1 motor and buy a new shaft. So that's all that broke was a shaft. I'm gonna get a new shaft. I'm not sure which one was in there, but probably go with like a 13.5, and I'm gonna keep this for a backup motor. I might put it back in here, but what I plan on going is 4-pole. Also, if anybody, this is a OG Bullet, if I'm not mistaken. I am trying to figure out if they have floating body mounts for this car. I would like to put floating body mounts on here to give it a try and see what happens. Don't pay no attention to the tires. These tires are just sitting there. But I want to go through that. This car worked amazingly through the season. I had no problems with it ever since I got it from Jay. Shout out to my man Jay. Appreciate the car, man. It was just phenomenal. Everything I threw at it, it took except for this motor. Now shout out to Mike because Mike gave me the motor, and he told me that this motor was beat to shit. But I went through it. It looked good, and it just held up for me. I must have threw about 100 passes at it too. So until the shafts snapped, but the car was working great. The way it's set up, I don't even want to touch it. I just want to put a 4-pole in there, and when the season come or we start testing again, I just want to see what it does. But I don't plan on changing it to the new chassis. And this chassis worked great. So now what I want to do is just, if you know where I can get them from, drop me a link in the comments. But I'm looking for floating body mounts for this. OG Bullet. And this is, I believe, TLR based, if I'm not mistaken. I know Jay will correct me. But this car worked great, went down straight every time. Only time it did break traction is when I tried to put too much in it. But other than that, it worked great. And it got a lot of flex in it. So it kind of helped when it was needed. Other than that, it did great for me this season. I believe I went the fastest with this car this season. And this was my backup car. So we're going to definitely, I am planning on going R1, but I might keep the castle in here with the 4-pole and put the R1 in the V2 Tombstone. So let's get to the Tombstone, and then we'll just go through a few things we're trying to get done for next season, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, here is the Tombstone. So, as y'all remember, the last run with this car, I forgot what happened. I remember I broke the shock tower. Then I made 2 into 1. Put the shocks back straight up. I tried to change it to, I think I got down to a 191. Oh, I blew the ESCs. That's what happened. I was testing to go to Clash of the Titans, and I blew 2 ESCs, which I still use up to right now. And one is in the RS4 and the other one is in the other RS4. But I don't believe I'm using them in sensing mode. I'm using them in smart sense. So I believe that's why it's working. But that's what happened to the receiver. That's been like that. It's still working. No problems there. But I'm waiting on the V2. That's what I'm getting at. I'm waiting on the V2. I want to just throw everything on the V2 and then probably get an R1 for this car. I think I'm going to stay with this chassis. Transmission. I was going to get a DRC, I believe it is, transmission. I still might get it, but I'm loving this transmission right. This transmission is smooth like butter. Let me tell you. I got the gearing up there, so it ain't going to spin how I want it. But transmission smooth like butter. But the V2, the servo is going to go up here, so that way I can move the battery up, which is great. I'm hoping it comes with a front brace that I broke. So I didn't like these for body mounts. It was making the car. Now, what I am going to talk to Miguel, let's see if we can get some floating body mounts. It's going. We get some floating body mounts for this. This would be a great car. I'm not changing it. I didn't see which my boy, Power Mad Racing. My brother right there went 1.6 with a Traxxas based car. 169, one, so it's doable. So I'm not gonna change this car. Now I still think it's nothing wrong with having a third car. I could test, and whichever car is the best, that's the one I use. But I'm thinking of getting a DRC. I'm not a DRC. One of the R1 cars or the Apollos, whatever is in flavor, I guess, for before next season. But for right now, I'm sticking to what I got. I just got to make it better. And I know with an R1, I should be able to. I actually got told what to do with the castle. I forgot his name. I think his name is Anthony. Shout out to that brother on Facebook. And Chris. Shout out to Chris, because Chris did ask me if I had my curve up in the ESC, and that's what would help with the Coggin. And I did that with both ESCs that blew, and I'm assuming that's why they're working now, because I changed the curve in the ESC and put them up, and they're working perfectly fine in both of the cars. So, definitely trying to go R1. Point blank simple. So, that's what we're at with the drag cars. I still have these tires right here that I plan on putting on, and I gotta lower the suspension. So this car is gonna be slammed, but I want to wait till I get the V2. Once I get the V2, transfer everything over, I'm gonna run through it, try to tighten everything up, change bearings, whatever, and have this car ready for next season. I'll probably still run a max amp for testing, but I'm sure I'll probably get another battery by next year. So that's where we at with it. My stock car, I gotta run through that as well. But this car did great this year as well. It brought a lot of struggle to the NPRC, but I got through it with this car, and it was great. It was great. Oh yes, it was great. For me, it was a struggle because it was my first mid-motor car. My first time messing with a mid-motor was this, and it was just a whole different base. And we made it work. Well, I had a mid-motor before that, and that was even a headache. And then I switched to this, and this made it better. And it was just solid after that. So I know with the V2, I'll definitely have a better car, and more chassis placement to put the battery. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm hoping next year is a great season. We're also looking to get the Run What You Brung class back going. Even if you wanted to, see now, I can't have prep in that class for rubber tire going against a dry tire foam because people will complain. That's what I'm assuming. So if you wanted to switch this same car over and put it on foams and run it against a four-wheel drive, whatever, you know, it might be competitive. I seen Chris and Dan do it before, so it's definitely possible. So that's what we're looking to get. Just another class where it's just all out fun. You just run that car. It don't even matter. Whatever you got, just run it. Run what you brung. So we're trying to get that class back up and open for next year. So y'all stay tuned. And we'll bring you another update. We're waiting on some things. So we'll bring you another update. So you guys stay tuned. I am going to get working on a stock car. I still have my infraction. That's a drag car. And the RS4, that's a drag car, which is for Run What You Brung. So hopefully we get some more candidates in that class. Marco, he got a Typhoon 6S. Hopefully he turned that into a drag car. Giving him ideas there. But anyway, all right, thanks for tuning in, you guys.